Welcome to Talk at the Urinal. This is John Gonzalez, a.k.a. Gonzo. I'm here with my good friend Eric.
What's up with the what's up? All my tweeples, a.k.a. Blacks Out.
Thank you all for tuning in to our NBA midseason review and awards show. We're here to talk about the best teams in the league, the current playoff teams that will fall out of contention, plus the teams that will make surprise runs down the stretch. We're going to talk about the teams that could give the Lakers and Cavs a run at the first seed, plus our midseason MVP, sixth man, and best-looking player, Eric?
No homo, John. Come on.
No homo. This is Talk at the Urinal right now.
Let's do it.
Welcome everybody. This is Talk at the Urinal's NBA midseason review. It's really been a great season thus far with plenty of surprising teams and injuries affecting some of the best teams in the league, including the Lakers and Celtics. But Eric, back to surprises. There's currently a team sitting at 4-48. The New Jersey Nets.
Terrible. Jay-Z, what is going on, my friend?
Jay-Z's hurting right now, but then again, he has Beyonce, so it's kind of...
I'm sure his life's still pretty good.
So they're beyond disappointing teams at this point. They're garbage, but I do want to get into the disappointing teams. Let's talk about the East first. Who are your disappointing teams in the East?
So far, my disappointing team's got to be Detroit.
Yeah.
And I mean, they got Ben Gordon, Villanueva. They still got Rib.
They battled injuries throughout the season.
I think all of them have except for Villanueva.
Right. They're awful.
It's bad. And then my other disappointing team, my playoff team that I had before the season is the Pacers.
Right. You had Pacers sitting at 8th seed, I believe, preseason, and they're, what, 13th?
13th.
Right now?
I mean,
way out of playoff contention.
Granger was out for like a month, but still, I mean,
there's no excuses.
There's no excuses. It's the East. You got to contend up there with they had a pretty.
And what about in the West, Eric? Give me your disappointing teams in the West.
West right now, I got to say New Orleans. I mean, You always expect them to be good with a great point guard. You expect them to contend.
They fired their coach earlier in the season.
Right away. That's their problem right off the bat. You can't. I mean, he's a great coach.
Granted, they're still with a winning record. They're sitting at 28-25, but they're 12.5 games out of like the first place. They're sitting at 10th, and they still have a chance to make it in the playoffs. But they're so much better than that.
Yeah,
you figured they'd be better than Portland or even Phoenix or even Oklahoma City, but they're not. They're sitting at 10th.
And then the other team is Golden State.
State.
That was like supposed to be the surprise team this year, and they turned out to be a disappointing team this year. What are they sitting at? 14-37. That's
14-37. That is pathetic. I agree with you. Golden State has enough talent to be a lot better than that. Monte Ellis, rookie.
Stephon Curry. Triple-double last night.
Yeah, against the Clippers. We'll get into that later.
I mean, they averaged the most points in the league at 111. 4-22 on the road, John.
That'll do it. What about surprising teams, Eric?
Surprising teams. His first team is Charlotte. I mean, they probably wouldn't be in the playoff contention if they would have made that trade for Steven Jackson.
Steven Jackson is big key, but Gerald Wallace has proven to be a star.
My boy, averaging a double-double.
Yeah, and my other team, would definitely be Toronto, sitting at 5th. Now, Eric, I got to give you credit, and everyone, I got a lot of crap earlier this season for Eric's preseason playoff picks, but the current top 5 in the East is exactly how Eric predicted it. In Toronto, they are a surprising team. They were awful last year, and now they're sitting at 5th.
Chris Bosh.
DeMar DeRozan, local boy.
Turkoglu
was key to that. Yes, he is a winner, not a finals winner.
Not a finals winner,
but a playoff winner. I hate Turkoglu. I'm sorry. What about in the West? Surprising teams win.
How about Oklahoma City, man?
Oklahoma City's probably got to be the most surprising. Granted, we all knew that eventually we'd be talking about them. They'd be in the playoff contention. They have enough talent, especially with Kevin Durant leading the way. But sitting at 5th place?
5th place
in the West.
Man. So they're sitting at the 5th seed right now. Above the Spurs, who I thought would be top 3 this year at least. Above Portland, above Suns. I mean, Kevin Durant, if you throw out Kobe and LeBron this year, he's our MVP.
Yeah, we'll get into the MVP later, but you're right. Kevin Durant, they've added some key pieces, but Oklahoma City looks dangerous this year, let's be honest.
Dangerous, and this is the team in the next 3 years that could contend for the top.
Absolutely.
Top seed,
them and
sure.
I believe Portland could contend for the title.
Those two, yeah.
Portland, they are still winning games. Also, Eric, Phoenix to me is my other surprising team in the West. They have proven to be a lot better than they were last year.
Without the Shaqtus,
which is the crazy part. And so, Eric, give me some of the teams that are currently out of the playoffs that you will think will make a run down the stretch. How about in the West?
Well, my team that I had making the playoffs before the season is Memphis. They're sitting at 26-25 right now, about 3 games back. I think they can make a run. I mean, they got the talent. We want to see him.
They've proven to be very dangerous this year. Yeah, I agree. Zach Randolph's playing out of his mind. I mean, he's playing consistent ball the way he did with the Clippers and the Knicks last year. But he's sitting 20 and I think over 10 at least.
He's an all-star.
Yeah, he's an all-star, and he was the key piece of to that team. They have a lot of young players.
The Houston Rockets, if they're trying to make a trade right now for a Butler and a Brandon Haywood. If that happens, then I definitely think they can make a run for the playoffs.
And Houston's only a couple of games, what, 2.5 games out of
2 games back. I mean, a lot could change.
Yeah. How about in the East, Eric? Give me teams that you'll think will either fall out or make a push for the playoffs down the stretch.
Actually, looking at teams right now that are in it, I don't see Charlotte, Miami, or Chicago falling out. If one of those teams did, I could see Miami possibly falling out. With Wade, I know you got Wade on there, but sometimes the team just looks terrible. And then the team that's out right now that could replace them, probably the Sixers.
See, I'm going to have to go with Chicago, if anything. I think Chicago might fall out. They're sitting at 25-26, just a game under 500. They've looked shaky at this. They've looked inconsistent, obviously, with that record. But Philadelphia, I think, is the team to look out for. Philadelphia with AI and Andre Iguodala, they might just finally click just enough down the stretch to make a key push towards the playoffs.
Because I think they were a 6th seed last year, something like that.
Let's get into our award show, Eric. Are you pumped?
I'm pretty pumped, man.
Let's do this. First of all, Eric, give me this year's MVP. Personally, I don't even think there's competition, but who's your midseason MVP?
No, this year, first half of the season, there's no competition. I'll give it to your boy. But last year's questionable. This is the year, and I'll give it to him so far. He deserves it. I mean, they have the best record in the league. They beat Lakers twice. They beat a lot of good teams.
They beat Orlando tonight, and
they swept the Hawks this year.
Right.
I mean, LeBron is doing his thing like he usually does.
I have to agree with you. LeBron James he's phenomenal. He's averaging, 38 and 7, leading the league in points, and just the average 38 and 7 is just ridiculous. Most improved player, Eric.
I gotta go with my boy in the East, Charlotte Bobcats, Gerald Wallace.
Absolutely. Gerald Wallace went from averaging 16 and 8 last year to averaging 18 and 11.
Guy's a stud this year, man.
How about in the West?
The West is Monte Ellis. I mean, their team's garbage. I mean, you're a star, most improved. You gotta get a better record.
What is Golden State sitting at? Golden State is sitting at 14 and 37. That is good for the second worst record in the West, right above Minnesota.
Come on, Monte. Last year's stats were 19-4-4. Now he's at 26-5-4.
I mean, that's just nuts.
If he doesn't win most improved.
Gerald Wallace, I mean, he's obviously playing a lot better, but no, Monte Ellis, stat-wise, is the most improved player in the league. 6-man. I don't even think there's a contest. There's one guy in the league right now, and it's Jamal Crawford.
Another one of my boys.
Atlanta
on a good team. This guy hasn't played one playoff game. There was an article on him. Never complained. He just went out there, played the game, averaged a bunch of points. And
Eric, he finally gets redemption for being on such terrible teams, and now he gets to help out a team that, is a very dangerous team. They've proven to be very dangerous in the playoffs, almost taking down the Celtics in 7. Jamal Crawford averaging 18, 3 and 3.
And I think he's had some buzzer beaters this year, or game winners, not buzzer beaters, and he's just helped this team tremendously.
All right, Eric, I want your most dangerous teams in both conferences. Who's your most dangerous team in the East?
East, I gotta say Hawks.
Still?
I mean, yeah, they were a dangerous team a couple years ago as the 8th seed. Then this year they get Jamal Crawford, our 6-man award right there, and they got Josh Smith. Joe Johnson's a stud.
And in the West, who's your most dangerous team, Eric?
I gotta say Suns.
Suns?
I mean, they got Nash, if he keeps playing like that, and they got Channing Frye and Dudley.
Grant Hill still providing, and Amari, obviously. You can't stop Amari. Amari's ridiculous. All right, Eric, let's get into the most important awards. No homo. Who's the best looking player in the NBA?
The Birdman? Or my boy Kobe, man.
Your boy Kobe?
Yeah, my boy Kobe. I mean, no homo. I know he's my boy.
It's not Kobe Bryant.
Who is it, man?
It's his fellow teammate Shannon Brown or Dwayne Wade. Like if I'm taking fashion tips from any guy in the league, it's got to be D-Wade. Here are nominees for the most pathetic loss of the season.
Both include
the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers at Nets. Now let me give you. With this game, the Nets avoided the worst start through 44 games, and they were without Devin Harris. Or the Clippers last night at Golden State losing by 30, 132-102 was the final score. Warriors were missing Monte Ellis, Radmanovich, Corey Maggette, and Anthony Randolph.
And Devin George played, and he was sick.
No.
He was throwing up before the game.
Oh my goodness. Eric, which loss is more pathetic?
I gotta say the Nets. The Nets have 4 wins.
Who's gonna be the MVP of the All-Star game?
Al Horford.
Al Horford. Not LeBron James.
I mean, you can go with LeBron. I'm going with Al.
All right, everyone. Well, we want to thank you for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed our mid-season NBA review and award show. Don't forget to check out talkattheurinal.com, and remember to check out our Twitter page, twitter.com/talkattheurinal. Also become a fan of us on Facebook. We hope all of you have fun watching the NBA All-Star Game on Sunday. And please remember take out your Valentine the night before the game to avoid all drama and fights. This is John Gonzalez.
Eric Blatz.
We're out.